Right guys, following on from the last video around the citrus trees, just another point I wanted to make out, just for interest if anybody is thinking about getting themselves some citrus trees. As I said, the option is you can keep them in these little small pots, however they do benefit from being potted on, more often than not. And I did pot on some of my citrus trees, last year it was, and what I've done is, you don't want to go up, with citrus trees you don't want to go from a pot that size to a 30-litre pot, absolutely not. You just want to go up one or two sizes bigger and a tad deeper. And on that note, basically what it is, I put fairly large stones, about 20mm stones, a layer of 20mm stones in the bottom. Obviously you want good drainage holes, so I put holes in the side and in the bottom. Just 4 round the side will do, and plenty in the bottom. Then I put a layer of stones in, just about that deep. But the medium that I used for potting on was cocoa coir, basically. Use cocoa coir, it's got fantastic drainage. And I did mix a handful of peat in with the cocoa coir just for extra feed, with slow release feed as well. And then what basically I'd done was I sat the pot in and I filled in around the area that was surplus. I put a very, very thin layer over the stones, sat the pot in, and then filled the circumference of the new pots with 90% cocoa coir and a handful of compost mixed in with some long-term fertilizer added to that added to the compost. So that's what we've done, because you really do need citrus trees to drain out. When you pour the water in, you want to see the water pouring out the bottom, basically. They'll obviously hold on to some water on the way down, and you might have to go back, so water them, and then 20 minutes later go back and water them again, 20 minutes later go back and water them again. But each time you want to see the water pouring out the bottom and then drain. So that's just another little tip if you're thinking of potting your plants up into a slightly larger container. Don't go up in a massive jump container wise. It's not good. The peach trees, they'll take that, but I wouldn't recommend it for citrus, guys. So that's just another little tip for you if you're interested in growing citrus trees, or it's something you'd like to have a little go at on your allotment. You will need to provide spare cover for them in a polytunnel in winter in particular. You can put them outside in the pots, but if you've obviously got gales to think about and torrential rain if we're forecast, you know, I wouldn't put them out until sort of summertime. Then you can leave them out there till about September and then bring them into the polytunnel, guys, just to protect them. Just an option for you guys. So yeah, regarding the peach trees, they do need a little bit extra water during the winter months, but not much more, not much more. So hopefully that's just another little tip I forgot to fill in on the last video. That will just help you out, guys. Right, I'm going to have this cup of coffee, and then I'm going to get some more work done, hopefully. I'll see you later, guys. Right guys, so just for anybody new to the channel, or for that matter even anybody who's been with me a while, I'm not sure how well this audio is going to come out. I've got the muffler microphone on, but we'll see if it keeps you in, because it's rather windy. So this is the first area of the allotment, and as you can see it's quite a size and finishes at this point here. This was all one allotment, by the way, and when I took it over 12 years ago it was head high brambles all the way through. That's all it was, brambles. So we've got the polytunnel, a couple of sheds here. These were pigeon lofts, as you know. We had another pigeon loft down there. We have another one here which is a double section which we've still got a few birds left in. And then we had this 24-foot loft, and we've now put this extension on here. So this is the first half of the allotment. Moving on. Oh, by the way guys, we've even got all this space around the back of here. That's where we buried Echo, our dog, just after Christmas there. And then we've got all this space down here as well. I have 2 IBC tanks hooked up there, coming off the guttering. And for those that haven't seen it in a previous video, I have a pipe running straight under there from those IBCs, and I put myself a tap on there and a little turn catch tap that I can fill my bucket up with, hook a hose pipe up and run down to the polytunnel. So, moving on, like I said. So the next section of this is the chicken area. As you can see, we have all this. Yeah, there's a bit of rubbish that needs tidied up, guys. That's got to be dismantled this year, hopefully cleared that down. And then I made myself a couple of makeshift double gates here so I can drive through with the ride-on mower to cut this grass in summer. Last year we put this fence up to claim a bit more garden. And we're now through into the growing area. Oops, sorry guys. And we're now into the growing area. A couple of raised beds we started on last year, didn't get finished. These were 3 pallet collars we made, and if you look back on the previous video, you'll see this was all grass. We just went straight on top of the grass. Another bed here we made here. Put the bench together last year for that, and we erected that shed as well. Again, all in another video. We've made a big dent in these pallets now, thankfully, and we're now into the growing area. Little lean-to greenhouse we made last year or year before, I'm not sure. And this goes right the way back to here, and in fact all of this all the way up there and round the back was also mine, and I let my neighbour Kenny, who feeds and waters the pigeons for me through the week, have this area for his chickens and ducks. And then we've got all of these beds, plus that one, and you've seen these in the last video. And then last but not least, along with these beds, we have the treehouse that we built, again in an earlier video. And the first job I'm going to do over here today is I'm going to start clearing out this polytunnel, move all the wood, disassemble this bench, so that and then line these trees that we're going to plant directly into the ground on this side. It probably won't be today. I'm not going to have time to do half of what I was wanting to do, but we'll do as much progress as we can, guys. So that's the size of the allotment in its entirety. Right guys, we're in the garden area. So I'll give you a quick look around at the state of it is now. We need to get it tidied up. So we've got this bed to scratch off and pull those half a dozen weeds out. That's in 12 months. No dig is definitely the way to go, guys. And that's just compost, they'll just pick out very easily. I need to get this net off because my garlic's doing really well now when it's up to the net, as is the next bed of garlic. If you want to see how I've done all of this, look back on the videos I've got. You'll see this there's actually one titled Start to Finish, I think it is. And you'll see what a mess this entire area was before we started. I also have another garlic bed here with several dwarf trees in. A couple of little dwarf trees. Lots of garlic. This is garlic I saved from my garlic last year, which is hardneck. Supermarket garlic, by the way. We got a good crop out of it. Fantastic crop. So much so that I was able to save all of this and replant because it's acclimatized here now. So here we've got a 3 variety apple tree. Here we have a bush cherry, Here we've got another apple, I think it's Jenna Gold. And these are the dwarf ones I bought 6 of last year. But only these 3 actually budded up last year. So we planted these to get them a start. And I think they're golden delicious, these. Or 1 or 2. I think that one on the end's golden delicious, but I'm not 100%. There is a label in there, I'll need to check it out. There's the second plum tree that we've left, that we transplanted 3 times already. And that's a nice manageable height now, guys. And it did branch out quite a lot last year. We trimmed it back and left it with just what we want on there, and it's starting to bud up nicely now. These are the other dwarf ones that we bought, and we've done exactly the same with those ones I've just been referring to. And there is pear and cherry. So there's 2 pear, 2 cherry, and they never ever budded up. So I've left them to see if they will this year, but I think they were actually dead on arrival, to be honest with you. They came as bare root, but they didn't ever grow. This here is a pomegranate, and will be out very, very shortly. That needs potted on a bit into a bigger pot now as well, but that comes out in a lovely flush every year. Still need to tidy all this area up here. It's not going to get done this weekend, but we will get done this year. Need to take this bit of fencing out, and then we'll cap the ends of the beds down here. These are my other dwarf trees. I've got apple trees I've had for 4 or 5 years now. That's a full-size tree that we cut down and maintained. We got apples off it last year. This one we bought last year ready with about, I think there was 6 or 7 apples on it, and that's still in its pot. We normally grow the onions in this bed every year, and we get good harvests out of this bed, so we'll stay with it. Another 2 dwarf trees here. We need to get some copper sulphate on all these trees as well over the next week or 2. As you can see, it's still a heck of a mess. The strawberry bed has sunk about a foot more, and I've been bleating on about getting this sorted and never ever got round to it, guys, but yeah. In here we've got a grapevine, and then this here is an apricot. We decided to put the apricot in here last year. And I've got 2 volunteer peas in there somehow. I don't know, I never ever planted peas in there. But this is an apricot, and it's actually in flower already. But it's a bit early for flowering, so whether they'll get pollinated or not, we don't know. It is supposed to be self-fertile, and again it's on dwarf stock. We only got that last year, guys, so we won't know whether it's going to do. This is a strawberry bed that we put to bed last year, and as you can see I've got some onions from last year. I've pretty much got some spring onions here if I want them now, guys, that have volunteered themselves. Somehow one of them must have went to seed, and it's self-seeded. Got all these beds to clean down. As you can see, this is where the fences all got broken from Hurricane Billy Willie or whatever. All these beds want the plastics off now, tidied away. The paths need redressed. That probably won't happen today, but they do need redressed. We've still got the plum tree to burn, and that wanted a bit to cut up. And as you know, we cut them down in an earlier video, guys. I still need to chip away at that with the chainsaw. We've got the batteries fully charged now, so we can do that. But the rhubarb's starting to volunteer, but basically it's just a right old mess, as you can see. So it shouldn't take much tidying up, but we'll get as much done as we can today. This was just another little greenhouse that we made as a lean-to on the side of the garage. If you want to see how we built that, look back on the videos. These are the pallet bays that we built. If you want to see those being made, look back on the videos. I've got another peach tree in here. Actually, this one's a nectarine. This is a nectarine. I only have the one nectarine. The other's a peach. Again, we built this out of pallets. This is what's been the tree house, which is now going to be another polytunnel. Right, guys, 16 in here. And 38 degrees in the polytunnel. That's horrendous. Right, guys, it's 40 degrees in this polytunnel. I'm going to have to do something drastic. the plants are absolutely suffering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off all the polycarb on this side, and then there's the green mesh on the back of this, and let this wind blow right through the polytunnel to try and cool it down a bit, guys. Right guys, what I've done is I've took this top polycarb sheet out of here, and this is now just mesh, the fine green barrier netting. And then on this back side I've actually taken two out. I've taken the bottom one out, left the middle, and took the top out as well. Now I do know that if the temperatures drop again tonight, or we even get frost, well, we'll just have to take our chances. But the plants were suffering in 40-degree temperatures. Right, I'm going to take you over and show you what we got done. 2 seconds for you, 2 hours later for me. So basically I said I was going to clean this out. I was, trying to do too much in one go again. So what I have decided to do instead of that was I decided we would tidy this area here, guys. So we've now uncovered the beds. We've given them a scratch over. It's no dig, so we haven't dug this. We've just given them a scratch over and pulled, I think, a handful of weeds. I can probably count them on one hand for what there was. They were all covered with plastic, as you know. We put them to bed over winter, and the first thing to go in these beds will be the potatoes, and every bed will have potatoes in. And then we'll be doing pots as well this year, guys. So I wanted to get some air at these and let the weather get at them. I was going to plant some today, but I've changed my mind. I'll leave it till next weekend now. We'll let a couple of rains get at it and some weather, and then we'll do that. So we've had a bit of a tidy up with the bags, a couple over there, some bark chips, some more bark chips here. All of that lot in the corner there is just weeds that we pulled and put in plastic bags. Then I fold them up and I put them in the heat of the sun and just let them sweat down and die. And then I'll get rid of them. But that's what we basically do. This is just the wood I collected up off the beds, but I never throw anything away, as you very well know, guys, because anything that's too small for anything else will end up on the wood burner or on the fire. So I'm going to load the wheelbarrow up now with some of this wood and do one more run. At least it's a start, isn't it? We take some of this wood over with us, and I'm pretty much going to call it a day for today because I'm wiped out. I got more done than I thought I was going to, actually, but not as much as I would like to, as always. But yeah, it's good progress, guys, so I'm going to just crack on now. Right guys, it's not perfect, but it's a bit more done, and we've made a start in here now. So we've cleared so far down there, and we've certainly, what we're going to plant in here into the ground on this side is these trees here, basically. We cleared the wood off here, put that away, and yeah, I'm absolutely wore out now. I've done all I can for today, and so it's going to probably be next weekend before we get anything else done up here. So good progress. All in all, yeah, happy chappy. Right guys, it's Sunday the 20th of March. I'm going to slot this in on this video. Just wanted to show you something. So here we've got 19 degrees in the polytunnel, and it's only 9 o'clock in the morning, but it's only 14 where the citrus trees are. And I discovered yesterday the polytunnel hit 40 degrees mid-afternoon. That's when the sun's at its hottest and direct on the polytunnel, and the plants were really suffering. As you know, I had to take out the polycarbs, and that actually dropped the temperature by about 15 or 16 degrees. So it's 19.3 already and only 9 AM, and that's with the polycarbs out. But in the citrus tree area it's only 14 degrees. So what I decided I would do, obviously in the heat of the afternoon, so these get the sun all day in the morning and it warms the place up, but significantly less than the polytunnel. And by mid-afternoon the sun is in that direction, so it's behind the shed, and this overhang, if you can see on the roof, casts a bit of shade which keeps this relatively cool. So the highest temperature we got in here was 19, I think it was 20, it might have been 20 degrees, but no direct sun on them. And as you can see, I haven't watered these, and these are still nice and moist. And these were in here all day yesterday at the same time that the plants were in the polytunnel. However, the plants in the polytunnel had dried out completely, and I mean bone dry. So what I've done is I've made up another quick shelf down this end, and I've brought all my plants in here now because it's much cooler. So yes, they're still getting the sunshine, we've still got the direct light above, and I've just given them all a good dousing down because they were absolutely gagging for a drink again this morning. So we've brought them in here to keep the temps down slightly until they go outside, basically, which I haven't got time to do today. Can't plant any of these out. I haven't got any beds. Well, I've got beds ready, but I'm using them for potatoes, so I haven't got the beds that I'm going to use in there. So we just give these all a good watering, and we're just leaving them in here so it'll take off the worst of the heat in the afternoon. But I've just noticed these cabbages are actually going to seed. At least two of them are. So this trial probably won't work out. However, this one isn't going to seed, and neither is that. And I can only imagine these have gone to seed because they were let dry out too much. So they decided they wanted to kick into flower before they died. So, but miraculously this one hasn't, and that one hasn't yet. So the trial's still on, guys, for now. So it's just a quick update. I'm going to slot this in on the last video. Right guys, with the last video that you've seen, and this one, and now this one, I've been up here since 7 o'clock this morning. It's now 4:30. I've been up here 9.5 hours, and I'm well and truly burned out, to be honest, but been a very good and productive day. I hope you've enjoyed the two videos, because we're doing quite a lot of filming today, and we're doing quite a lot of different things. I spread it out over these two videos, and I hope you've enjoyed them. I'm just having a cup of coffee, trying to ease me back a little bit by having a seat for 10-15 minutes. Then I'm going down and going for some food. It'll be an early night tonight, and then we've got to start decorating tomorrow, or at least make a start prepping the room for decorating, guys. So don't know when we'll see you in the next video, but stay tuned and follow me along. Thanks for all your likes, dislikes and your comments in the sections below. Don't forget to subscribe if it's your first time here. Hit the little bell icon, select all, and that'll alert you every time I put up a new video. For now guys, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be practical, keep yourselves out of harm's way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.